Skilla. Enhancing careers. Chapter 5. Transport logistics. Transport is a key necessity for production and consumption of products to occur at different locations. Transportation is the movement of goods from one location to another. Transport is important since it enables trade between peoples, which in turn establishes civilizations. Better transport allows more trade and a greater spread of people. Economic growth has always been dependent on increasing the capacity and rationality of transport. But the infrastructure and operation of transport has a great impact on the land and is the largest drainer of energy, making transport sustainability a major issue. Transport involves covering distances or changing the location of cargo through the use of a means of transport. Transport system makes goods and products movable and provides timely and regional efficacy to promote value addition at the least cost. Transport affects the results of logistics activities and influences production and sale. Freight transport is distributed in ground, air and water, according to which the deployed means of transport can also be categorized. Each mode of transport can be further divided into infrastructure, vehicle, and operations. Each mode of transport has its strengths and weaknesses. The choice of the right means of transport depends on many factors, including flexibility, costs, and transport volume. In order to choose the optimal means, an understanding of the strengths and weaknesses of the individual means of transport is essential. The strengths of various types of transport can be efficiently combined to create an optimal shipment. Two fundamental forms of combined transport are piggyback transport and container transport. The goal of combined transport is to sensibly link the strengths of various means of transport and to simplify the loading of goods to be transported. The role that transportation plays in logistics system is more complex than carrying goods for the proprietors. By means of well-handled transport system, goods could be sent to the right place at right time in order to satisfy customers' demands. It brings efficacy, and also it builds a bridge between producers and consumers. Therefore, transportation is the base of efficiency and economy in business logistics and expands other functions of logistics system. In addition, a good transport system performing in logistics activities brings benefits not only to service quality but also to company competitiveness. Transportation takes a crucial part in the manipulation of logistic. The operation of transportation determines the efficiency of moving products. The progress in techniques and management principles improves the moving load, delivery speed, service quality, operation costs, the usage of facilities and energy saving. A requirement of combined transport is an efficient transfer of shipped goods from one means of transport to another using the fewest possible transshipment operations. This need results in the creation of a system of hubs designed to reduce transport times. Hubs are transshipment locations such as terminals that have the technical capacities, e.g., a portal gantry crane, needed to quickly transship cargo. They are found in centers with high cargo handling volumes and are connected with other hubs as part of the main leg involving fast direct transport. Transport is a major user of energy and burns most of the world's petroleum. This creates air pollution and is a significant contributor to global warming. Road transport is the largest contributor to global warming. Energy use and emissions vary largely between modes, causing environmentalists to call for a transition from air and road to rail and increased transport electrification and energy efficiency. Other environmental impacts of transport systems include traffic congestion and automobile-oriented urban sprawl, which can consume natural habitat and agricultural lands. By reducing transportation emissions globally, it is predicted that there will be significant positive effects on Earth's air quality. Transport logistics is the planning, organization, management, execution and control of freight transport operations. It integrates individual transport acts to door-to-door supply chains, determining the efficiency of freight transport. Logistics has also become an industry in its own right, enjoying sustained growth over the past years. With ever-increasing volumes in freight transport, logistics needs to find solutions to the emerging consequences of this growth. Systems of transport indicators are designed to determine the efficiency of transport. Transport infrastructure consists of the fixed installations necessary for transport, and may be roads, railways, airways, waterways, canals and pipelines, and terminals such as airports, railway stations, bus stations, warehouses, trucking terminals, refueling depots and seaports. Terminals may be used both for interchange of passengers and cargo and for maintenance. Freight transport has become focused on containerization, although bulk transport is used for large volumes of durable items. Transport plays an important part in economic growth and globalization. While it is heavily subsidized by governments, good planning of transport is essential to make traffic flow and restrain urban sprawl. Vehicles traveling on these networks may include automobiles, trains, trucks, helicopters, and aircraft. Operations deal with the way the vehicles are operated, and the procedures set for this purpose, including financing, legalities, and policies. In the transport industry, operations and ownership of infrastructure can be either public or private, depending on the country and mode. Air. Aviation is able to quickly transport people and limited amounts of cargo over longer distances, but incur high costs and energy use. For short distances or in inaccessible places, helicopters can be used. Rail. A train consists of one or more connected vehicles that run on the rails. Propulsion is commonly provided by a locomotive that hauls a series of unpowered cars that can carry freight. Railed vehicles move with much less friction than rubber tires on paved roads, making trains more energy efficient, though not as efficient as ships. Freight trains traditionally used box cars, requiring manual loading and unloading of the cargo. Since the 1960s, container trains have become the dominant solution for general freight, while large quantities of bulk are transported by dedicated trains. Road. The most common road vehicle is the automobile, a wheeled passenger vehicle that carries its own motor. Other users of roads include buses, trucks, motorcycles, bicycles and pedestrians. Automobiles offer high flexibility and with low capacity, but are deemed with high energy and area use, and the main source of noise and air pollution in cities. Buses allow for more efficient travel at the cost of reduced flexibility. Road transport by truck is often the initial and final stage of freight transport. Water. Water transport is the process of transport a watercraft, such as a barge, boat, ship or sailboat, makes over a body of water, such as a sea, ocean, lake, canal or river. Although slow, modern sea transport is a highly efficient method of transporting large quantities of goods. Transport by water is significantly less costly than air transport for transcontinental shipping. Short sea shipping and ferries remain viable in coastal areas. Other modes. Pipeline transport sends goods through a pipe. Most commonly liquid and gases are sent, but pneumatic tubes can also send solid capsules using compressed air. For liquids/gases, any chemically stable liquid or gas can be sent through a pipeline. Short-distance systems exist for sewage, slurry, water and beer, while long-distance networks are used for petroleum and natural gas. Cable transport is a broad mode where vehicles are pulled by cables instead of an internal power source. It is most commonly used at steep gradient. Typical solutions include aerial tramway, elevators, escalator and ski lifts. Some of these are also categorized as conveyor transport. Infrastructure is the fixed installations that allow a vehicle to operate. It consists of a way, a terminal and facilities for parking and maintenance. For rail, pipeline, road and cable transport, the entire way the vehicle travels must be built up. Air and water craft are able to avoid this, since the airway and seaway do not need to be built up. However, they require fixed infrastructure at terminals. Terminals such as airports, ports and stations, are locations where passengers and freight can be transferred from one vehicle or mode to another. The terminals for automobiles are parking lots, while buses and coaches can operate from simple stops. For freight, terminals act as transshipment points, though some cargo is transported directly from the point of production to the point of use. Planning. Transport planning allows for high utilization and less impact regarding new infrastructure. Using models of transport forecasting, planners are able to predict future transport patterns. On the operative level, logistics allows owners of cargo to plan transport as part of the supply chain. Transport as a field is studied through transport economics, the backbone for the creation of regulation policy by authorities. Transport engineering, a subdiscipline of civil engineering, and must take into account trip generation, trip distribution, mode choice and route assignment, while the operative level is handled through traffic engineering. Environmental considerations. Because of the negative impacts made, transport often becomes the subject of controversy related to choice of mode, as well as increased capacity. Automotive transport can be seen as a tragedy of the commons, where the flexibility and comfort for the individual deteriorate the natural and urban environment for all. Density of development depends on mode of transport, with public transport allowing for better spatial utilization.